John Fredericks, he's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Just get that worked out so I don't have to do this.
Then on the weekend, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-unders, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh yeah,
for entertainment purposes only.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to Godzilla Wins. I'm Mitch Rogers, sort of sitting in for John Fredericks, who is just sitting over to my right now. But we're going to let him be a panelist this morning. But before we can talk football, before we can talk winners, and before we can give anybody financial advice, I have to read a little disclaimer. Let's go. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. That's in Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, and Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Please write all this down. 1-800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelpline-ma.org. That's in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-GHOPE-NY-text and HOPE-NY 467-369. That's in New York. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP if you're in Arizona. 1-800-522-4700. That's in Kansas and New Hampshire, 888-789-777. Visit ccpg.org in Connecticut or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Why don't we just get one universal number? 1-800-GAMBLER always works for me when I'm having any issues. That's where I go, 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay, you all have been sufficiently warned, okay? Now it's your fault if something goes wrong. Boys, I know we have WNBA at the bottom of the first hour. I'm hoping we don't even get to it because football is back, baby. Football, sort of, right? It's preseason. We've got the Browns and Bears later this afternoon, the Rams and Chiefs later, Dallas and Seattle. We're right in the middle of baseball season. We've got the Houston Astros shirt on. Houston's coming back in first place, going to the playoffs somehow. The American League, the wild card teams are all 5 games under 500, but who cares? It's a great day for sports. I want to welcome in my panel, John Fredericks, Frank Zaccanelli, Brendan Statler. I think Chris Saxman, he's always on his way. He's always coming here. But boys, John, you had a great week of shows. I've been listening to the John Fredericks Radio Network all week long. It's fire. Now we get to have a little bit of fun with some sports talk here, John. So you're wearing the Astros shirt. You got it buttoned down or buttoned up. I don't even know which way it is.
I think he needs to get a new shirt.
No way.
I'm going to vote.
I got plenty of Astros shirts. This is the one I wore last night when we scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 10th to win the game. So you know what? I gotta wear it again.
Gotta wear it.
All right.
He also hasn't washed it since the last World Series. He said,
I'm telling you right now, I was gonna send him a dry cleaning slip. Yeah.
This thing could stand up and walk away. So let me just say this. We were 11 games under 500. They were talking about a fire sale. The dynasty was done. We were done, not gonna make the playoffs. I was grousing, so I was part of the whole, I was part of it, right? All down in the dumps. And today, we got a 3-game lead, and it is now likely that we are not only going to win the pathetic AL West, but it is likely this team is going to get a bye in the first round. A bye. Unbelievable.
Hey, Mitch, I'm going to tell you something right now. That was the loosest term of dynasty ever used in the history of sports. If the Astros were a dynasty, right? A dynasty. Anyone want to?
Well,
let's call it a run. Okay, we had a run. It's been since 2015.
Yeah, you also had cameras out in
11 years
calling the pitches.
Since 2015, Mitch.
11 years.
Frank, when I first started on the network,
I wasn't alive the last time my team was good.
I used to bang a trash can every time they would talk Astros, and then I didn't get invited on for a couple weeks, and I was like, okay, all right, I see their sensitivity to this. We're just going to let it roll. Let the best time in the last 30 years, just let it marinate.
Enough time has passed, but, I mean, they had cameras calling pitches. I could have hit a curveball if I knew it was coming.
I just want to remind everyone this show is brought to you by WV Sports Nation and Healthy Cell. Just want to get that in there. WV Sports Nation has had an amazing month of coverage of West Virginia sports, even in the so-called dead zone, right, Brendan? We still pump stuff out there, and it's been a lot of fun. And obviously, Healthy Cell has been powering us through, the winter into the summer. Summer colds suck.
Yeah, right.
So, that's good. But hey, this is going to be a jam-packed show, right? That's what everyone says. It's the old cliche. It's a radio cliche, but it is. We've got preseason football. We've got college football to talk about. The WNBA actually like stuff on the court, maybe not all the controversies there. And then obviously baseball and more to go here. But Brendan, you thrilled with preseason football being back? And hold on, we're at 9:07. Dan, producer Dan, 9:07. Mark it down. Drew Lar and the Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. Let's go. Let's go. It only took us 7 minutes to get that in there, John. I don't know what the
I mean, technically it's on the run sheet, so it's not our fault.
That is true. That is true. That is true. But preseason football, I know you wait all year long. The Hall of Fame game comes up, which is putrid, and then your team comes on. But if you're watching your team, Frank, right, like you're into it. Like the Steelers actually have two young quarterbacks, with Drew Lar and Will Howard. Will Howard is basically a first-year kid because he was injured in preseason last year. So it's actually kind of intriguing from a Steelers standpoint because, Rodgers isn't going to play. The other quarterbacks, once Mason Rudolph is gone, there's actually intrigue there. So, preseason for your own team is fun. Frank, what's your thoughts on preseason in general, and what are you looking for when you're looking at your team?
Well, my team, just so we can be very clear, is the team that I have the most money on that week. So, my team changes from week to week. But, what are you looking for? You're looking for the rookies and you're looking for who are, oh, my God, Chris Saxman. Now, let me ask you a question, John. You run this network. I say it's at least $100 fine every time he's late. It's $100 fine.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to deduct him from what Ann pays him.
I think it's $100 fine.
Zero times zero, John.
What is our famous saying in West Virginia? Sales, Brendan?
0 times 0 is 0.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's true.
Back in the day, Ross Perot would have fined you $100 a minute. But
look, when a guy shows up knocking on your door at 8:45 trying to sell me a horse, you listen to a man selling you a horse.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
You tell him you're going to take it to water?
Right.
It's unbelievable what happens.
Yeah. But anyways, the team that I follow is the team that I'm betting on. But I think that one of the biggest problems, I live in a big NFL football city, Dallas, obviously. The price of the preseason games are exactly the price of all the other games. And what happens is people really complain about that they've got to watch 3 of these games now. There used to be 4, now there's 3. But they added the other game, which is the 17th game. And so now, they're still getting their amount of money. It's just good to turn on a TV and see a guy with a football helmet on. So it really feels good after a long period of time, I guess 6-7 months. So yeah, I look for, if you got drafted high, are you okay? Like Carson Beck the other week, he had a really nice game. That was nice to see. And I think you have to put that into the mix when you start thinking about, is he going to play at all? Is he going to get any airtime at all? So, stuff like that is what I look for.
John, we brought it up. Frank said his own, the only teams he root for are the ones he bets on. Are we betting during the preseason? And if so, what are we looking at? Are you looking at if they played their starter? Because I know a lot of people were betting on Green Bay. I had a side bet with a friend that because Jordan Love was playing. And I was like, okay, let's go. We bet on a golf simulator round, $100 or something like that. But I put action on the preseason games to make them.
You might have to call that 1-800 number.
Oh, yeah, 1-800.
No, actually, we're going to change that for minutes. See, when you're betting on preseason football, that number is different. That's 1-800-DEGENERATE. That's the new number for that.
Right.
I mean, when you got to go to the bottom of the barrel and bet on exhibition football, it's really what it is. I mean, nobody know who cares? They don't even care if they win.
Never bet on exhibition anything.
There's no way.
That's like betting on pro wrestling.
We need to call here. Hey, I bet on
Call your friends.
Mitch bet on Mr. T in Rocky 3, you know. But,
He also bet on the Generals against the Globetrotters one time.
are you telling me you bet on the fight in Rocky 3 and you bet against Rocky?
Oh, man.
I mean,
how the preseason's not even fun. I am going to bet. If I was here for the second hour, I'd give you my top 2. Like Chris, we brought it up. It was 7 minutes. I mean, you were 7.5 minutes late, so you missed it. But the Steelers were brought up. Aller, the Pittsburgh Steelers. My goodness, let's just drink the Kool-Aid now, right?
Well, I didn't. You can go late because I was late to that game anyway, so it syncs with me. I was good. I just saw the second half. I had to work.
I mean, if you're watching from a Steelers perspective, their first drive, it was the offensive line gave up some sacks. And that was Mason Rudolph's time. Mason Rudolph actually came back and played really well. Scored a touchdown. All 3 quarterbacks played well. I think that's what you would take from it. Anything is Mike McCarthy was brought in to be the quarterback guy, and the quarterbacks played well. Brendan, we're not going to be doing this again. We did this with Kenny Pickett because he had a good preseason a few years ago. That did not work out. So we understand what's happening here, but it's good to see solid footwork, Drew making the right reads, and Will Howard looked good too. I thought all 3 looked pretty decent. What were your takeaways from that game?
Yeah, I mean, Mason Rudolph just is what he is. He's an average quarterback at best. He's been around for a while. He's a solid backup when you need him. But of course, the talk of the town is Will Howard and Drew Aller. I mean, they both had tremendous games. It's hard to believe that this was their first look of NFL action. I mean, Will Howard in particular, I think, had excellent pocket awareness, was able to roll out of the pocket and, make a throw on the run. It looked like they've done it so many times now. Of course, we're not going to get too excited about this because, like you said, we remember how great Kenny Pickett looked in his first preseason and what that turned out to be. But, as far as just judging one preseason game, you have to be excited about what you see from both Will Howard and Drew Aller. I think Drew Aller's first pass was 74 yards down the field, and the receiver got tackled just a few yards shy of the end zone. So, you got to be excited a little bit after that showcase.
Well, let me say something about the Steelers, because this is kind of an inside football thing you think about. When you've got a quarterback that's 48 years old. How old is he? 48? No, 42.
42, about to be 43.
48 next week.
Your backup quarterbacks become a really big topic inside of those rooms where all these meetings are occurring. In other words, like if you're worried about the backup quarterback in let's say Philadelphia, all right, you got Jalen Hurts, you're probably not as concerned about that backup room, that quarterback room. But in Pittsburgh, you got to be very concerned with it. You got to be, because again, you do have a quarterback that was great in his day. Is he great now? He's not great now. Hopefully he can be functional enough, get the ball out to Metcalf, have a little bit of a running game and play defense. I mean, that's really what the game plan's got to be. So I think they're very concerned about Drew Aller, and they're very concerned about these guys because they think that they may have to, really play him.
No, absolutely, Chris. That's why it's easy on paper. You're like, yeah, dump Mason Rudolph, right? Because Will and Aller looked great. But to Frank's point, Mason Rudolph is probably like the 36th best quarterback in the league, right? He's a top backup. You can come in and win you games, and especially Aaron Rodgers at 42 years old, you're probably going to need your backup.
Well, the calculus is you can't carry 4 quarterbacks, I don't think, in the NFL, and I don't think that's quite what the Steelers are looking at. I think because of the play of Aller and Howard, it makes Mason Rudolph possibly expendable for a decent draft pick. If you're thinking about stocking your team going forward, again, Rudolph is a very serviceable backup. Let's not kid ourselves. But what I look for in the preseason, especially because you're not seeing the starting quarterback, is obviously pass accuracy, but more importantly for me in the NFL is mobility. And I think Howard is a bit more mobile than Drew Aller right now. And that's absolutely critical in adjusting to the NFL defenses because they come from everywhere all the time. It's an impressive thing. I didn't see Rudolph, so I can't talk about him. But again, it's preseason. the two backups did play well. It gives the Steelers a bit more flexibility when it comes to personnel, deployment and how they're gonna put them going forward. So I think things looking up for the quarterback room. To Frank's point, one of the things that suffered last year was Aaron Rodgers' mobility, but Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers, and if they can keep that team on the field longer, the defense will be much more in shape for the fourth quarter.
All right.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Aaron Rodgers, I think, exceeded Patrick Mahomes' touchdown numbers last year. I mean, he was in the top 10, I think, in touchdown passes and touchdown
Patrick Mahomes missed. He missed half the season, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
think so. Did he? I don't.
He missed from week 15 on. I think
you really look at time of drive. Because this isn't a physical league, and now they're doing 17 games. So the player personnel, the practice squad becomes essential to keeping the team fresh, to keeping the team healthy. Not getting Aaron Rodgers hit is really important. But more importantly, I think fans, and what I saw during the game, and again, I only saw the second half, was the ability of Mike McCarthy to call plays successfully over the middle for the passing game. And keep the drives going, and
we never did last year.
No, yeah, no. Tomlin was allergic to the middle of the field.
Tomlin, was it Tomlin or was it the OC? I mean, let's be honest.
It's Tomlin.
All right,
Tomlin.
It's also mobility. It's also mobility and throwing the ball over the offensive line to the middle. So you have a number of factors there that make that possible. So you have offensive line getting better. You have holes opening up. Timing is better. I think Mike McCarthy is an offensive genius, and this thing is going to come together. I mean, I'm not hoisting the seventh trophy, but I'm not going, oh my God, we're done. This is a better team than I was looking forward to.
Listen, when are you guys going to start the Pittsburgh Renegade rant so we don't have to spend 40 minutes of the show
when we get punched by Atlanta in game one?
Well, this was the story of the preseason, week one. Very quickly,
we don't need your help being miserable.
Okay? Mason Rudolph.
Hey, John, the rant is going to start in about week 5 when they're like,
we don't need you.
We're leading the AFC North. All right, we're moving on. Yes, go ahead.
So very quickly, Mason Rudolph has to be the expendable one. At this point, if you put either Will Howard or Drew Aller on the practice squad, consider them gone. Another team is going to snatch them up.
I agree. All right. Frank brought up a great point about the backup, and a team that's probably more in line for a trophy than the Steelers, in all honesty, would be the Detroit Lions. So you've got Jared Goff there. He's pretty reliable, but they had one of those backups. Teddy Bridgewater was sitting there. They're comfortable with Teddy. Teddy abruptly retires, right? And now your backup is the undrafted rookie Luke Altmaier, and he got his chance. He got his chance to play the other night. Didn't play as well as Drew Aller. But how big of a deal is that, John, when you're rolling in? You had a little down year last year. You have Super Bowl aspirations, obviously, and now it's Josh Dobbs Josh Dobbs is going to be probably the backup, but they let the undrafted guy go in there. And we know a lot about Dobbs. We could go a whole nother Steelers rant on there, John. But that's a pretty abrupt blow for Bridgewater. And I wonder if it's a real retirement because he's retired before.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. When you don't have a legit backup quarterback, here's my advice to the Detroit Lions. Get on the phone, call up Amy Adams, and make a deal and get Will Levis. We don't want him. You can have him. He's a viable backup quarterback, right? He'll throw the ball to the other team 1 out of every 3 times, but he can still complete a pass. That's your answer. But that's tongue-in-cheek. But when you go in the season and you don't have a legit backup, with the injuries that go on today, and you're supposed to get to the Super Bowl, I mean, I would defer to Frank here, but I think that is a very risky proposition for the Lions.
Well, you got to make a deal. You're not going to go with what you got. So
got to make a deal.
Figure out, where you're going to make a deal. There's going to be a bunch of quarterbacks after the second or third preseason game that either get cut or whatever. So you're going to have to make a deal there. And the long and short of it is, you got your eye on it now because, you know what the situation is. And, you got to have somebody, God forbid, in case Goff gets, hit in the head. So they're working on it, I can promise you. And they'll bring in somebody that will be somewhat functional, because I'm going to tell you something. You take a look at the backup quarterbacks in the league. They're not very good. All the way through, all the way over. It's such a hard position to play. we're lucky to get 32 quarterbacks. And during the middle of the season, I think we only got 20 quarterbacks that are any good. By the time that I get to game 7 or 8, I'm like, this team doesn't have a quarterback. Look what's going on. The biggest quarterback thing that we need to watch now is in Atlanta. Just take a look at Atlanta. That's going to become that could become a bit of a circus if we're not careful. Here you got Tua. He's one hit away from probably going back to Hawaii. And then you got the situation with Penix, who I looked up a stat on Game On America on John Frederick's network, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock every day on the John Frederick's network, Monday through Friday. I looked up a stat. Tua has had 3, not 1, not 2, 3 ACL, MCL surgeries. Jeez. 2 on one leg, 1 on another. The Penix I'm talking about, Michael Penix. Michael Penix has had 3 ACL surgeries, 2 on his right leg, 1 on his left leg. I mean, this guy's a hit away. And to be honest, Atlanta's not that bad, John. Atlanta's not that bad. They got a great running back. They got a really good wide receiver. Their defense is functional, but you got a quarterback problem.
Yeah, I mean, Tua looked pedestrian. It was against the Broncos. Did roll out their first team mostly, and they looked dominant. And Tua looked terrible last night.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's one step away from going back to Hawaii with a bag full of money. I mean, I don't see it. Miami gave up on him. I don't see it.
There's just a quarterback development problem. If you go into college now, especially with the transfers and the nil, hopefully that's getting a little bit, with the 5-year rule, if that even still holds up. But then also when you get to the NFL, and we've hammered this home, it's been, 10 years of this where there's just no development of a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, from him slipping down all the way to the 20th pick, got to sit behind Favre for 3 years. He benefited from that. All these guys that used to be able to sit benefited from being able to learn. Now, because all the pressure, you're thrown right out there, and we just do not have the talent around the league. There's definitely not 64 good quarterbacks.
There's not 32.
Yeah,
and I'll give you another example that you guys can throw out and debate. This kid out in Vegas, Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner, he's going to be good. In my opinion, he's going to be good. Right. But do you play this guy on a team that's still going to win 4, 5, 6 games? Do you play him?
No.
Or no. And Kirk Cousins is out there now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Cousins is out there. Play Cousins. Don't worry about this year. Build your team. You got Ashton Genty in the backfield. Don't wear him out. You need a few more receivers, but don't ruin Mendoza. Don't just throw him out there to the wolves because the Raiders aren't going to make the playoffs anyway. Let the kid get his footing, because I'll tell you what, I thought he was accurate. He's big. He's strong. And, I think he could be a good quarterback.
And my problem with bringing out these quarterbacks in the first year, and we've seen it with Jalen Daniels, and I know I'm being a little bit centric because RG3, we saw it. They specialize in offense to their capabilities. They don't give them the full playbook. So even in that first year, it's not the quarterback that you're trying to develop. You run something, and oftentimes it worked. It's gimmicky. Jalen had a great first year. People picked up on it. You can't just go one read, use half the field. So even when you put them in, Brendan, for 1 year, it feels like that sophomore, and Texans are dealing with it. CJ Stroud, like you have a great year, and then that second year doesn't always pan out. So I'm with Frank here. If you have the opportunity to have like fighting Kirk Cousins, beating up Max, in the locker room, I think you let Kirk Cousins go because that's a pro. He does everything right. He's a great family man, great Christian. He does everything off the field right. You follow him to a T. Person off the field and on the field. I think it's a great situation for Mendoza. I hope they don't rush it.
No, I agree with you and Frank completely. I mean, the Raiders are not going to be a good team this year. Everybody knows that. So why you would put out Mendoza? Because more than anything, what it does, in my opinion, is it shakes their confidence. You want to build these guys up, not throw them out there and get their ass kicked on a lousy team. So, I agree with Frank completely. I would go with Kirk Cousins this year, have Mendoza sit behind him and learn from him, similar like you brought up earlier, Rodgers sitting behind Favre. I mean, it could be a scenario like that because Mendoza's going to be good someday, but it is a jump from college to the NFL. He does need somebody to mentor him in this next level.
I'm pumped up for the NFL. Hey, let's stock some more NFL. I need to go to a break. I'm at a hard stop right here. We need to go talk about the DraftKings. Let's go to a quick break. When we get back from that break, let's talk about the preseason games today. We've got some good ones. Browns, Bears, Rams, Chiefs, and Cowboys, Seahawks all up after this.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Order online fast and save $45. Your kit with prescriptions to treat common and life-saving illnesses is rushed to your door. Visit twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pier 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Pennsylvania's big casinos want it all. Your money, your games, your choice. They rake in millions, then lobby Harrisburg to shut down the small businesses that dare to compete. Bars, VFWs, local spots, crushed so the casino giants can get even richer. They want to rig the system against you, but Pesomatic is fighting back. Skill games, fair play, real competition. No monopolies, no backroom deals. Just your right to play and win. Call Harrisburg now. Stand with small business. Stand with Pesomatic. Pesomatic, leveling the playing field. Paid for by Pesomatic.
John Frederick.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild,
they want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women's sports. They're going to open up their border.
Trump hits the speed dial.
Thank you for calling in on such short notice.
You came first, John.
Wake up with the John Frederick Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive J-Fred radio network, and all across the socials.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Godzilla Wins, where you get the best insight and best information on how to win the most money ever.
Guess what? GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
Back to the show.
Welcome back to Godzilla Wins, the best Saturday sports show in all of the land. Joined by John Fredericks, Frank Zaccanelli, Brendan Statler, Chris Saxman, and Dan Hobgood. This show is brought to you by West Virginia Sports Nation.com and Healthy Cell. And I'd be remiss. We got Frank Zaccanelli here, a legend in the game. You got to see John Fredericks. You got to grabbing this talent, you know. If you want to hear Frank more, 6 to 7 p.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network. It is Past the Wire Sports, hosted by John Stetton, Frank Zaccanelli, and Sarah Stackhouse. And it is a great show. You get out your 1-800-GAMBLER when you listen to that show. But Frank, tell people about it.
Well, you know, we're doing, sports news 3 days a week on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And boy, if we had a boatload of sports news, we've covered this WNBA mess from top to bottom. We're also into whatever the hottest issue is, we're on it. And then on Thursdays, we have the great John Fredericks himself in person on the College Football Thursday. And he came out. You need to watch it. There, you can pick it up on replays. You can, go into the John Fredericks Network or the Game on America Network and pick these shows up. John had some, he had some pretty determined picks that, you guys have to take a look at. We're going to hold everybody to all their picks. And then yesterday, we had a phenomenal NFL show with John Stinton and Sarah, myself, and Mike the Greek. We had Mike the Greek on.
Really?
And, CBS Sports and Brett Musburger had Jimmy the Greek. We got Mike the Greek. And so we came out with a lot of really good stuff. We covered the NFC. Next week on Friday, we're covering the AFC. And next Thursday with John Fredericks, we're covering the Big Ten. So it's gonna be a major, major, major deal. So tune in, watch us, and thanks, Mitch, for the plug on that.
Big Ten, the last 3 national champions. What happened to the SEC? Where did it go? We will get to all that later. And NFL. Today, it's the preseason. You're looking for storylines, right? So wanted to keep it a little bit with the NFL. We can move on after that. But weirdly, the Browns at Bears provide an intriguing storyline just because of the Browns quarterback situation. Deshaun Watson is still on this team. He has received around $250 million in guaranteed money over 4 years. The Browns have him slated as the starter. He was actually pretty much going into the camp the starter, but Deshaun Watson Shedeur Sanders has looked good, I guess, in this preseason. Chris Saxman, I know you love quarterback controversies, and especially with the Cleveland Browns. Would you go with Shedeur Sanders over Deshaun Watson? And what does it say about Shedeur Sanders if they're even thinking about bringing Deshaun Watson and letting him start after what he's done to this franchise?
Well, for me to suggest what the Cleveland Browns should do is a difficult task because I want them to implode. I want them to be the first team relegated in NFL history to the lower league. That my hatred of the Cleveland Browns goes back to the Art Modell days. Okay, I was raised to hate the Cleveland Browns when the Steelers are 1-13. Okay, that's just my legacy. Moving forward, I think Deshaun Watson is going to be your better quarterback. He has more NFL experience. The NFL is not just an athletic game, it's a mental game. And the speed with which the NFL moves is extraordinary. That's why quarterbacks don't make it, because they can't keep up and compete on a weekly basis against the best defensive coordinators in sports, in my estimation. It's a chess game. And I think until Shedeur Sanders can get to that place where he is making better decisions in the pocket, he's obviously got the talent, but the NFL game is between the ears as much as it is in the heart. And if I'm the Cleveland Browns, just on paper, you got to go with the experienced NFL quarterback until Shedeur Sanders gets his decision-making abilities in a much better frame.
Yeah, Brendan, it makes me believe that they're not sold on Shedeur Sanders being, their franchise guy. And I think it goes to the point we made in the first half of the show. There's just not that many great quarterbacks. Shedeur looks like a serviceable backup, could be a second or third stringer on most teams. The fact that he's getting looks as a starter is baffling to me. So I can kind of see what, and that's apparent if you're going to let Deshaun Watson even have a chance right now, right?
Yeah, it's not a good situation in Cleveland. It seems like we have this same conversation every year. It seems like there's a quarterback controversy with the Browns every year. But I agree with Saxman on this one. Although the situation is not great, neither option's great, I think you have to go with Deshaun Watson just based on experience alone. I can't make up my mind right now if Shedeur Sanders is good or not. At the very least, he's not ready, in my opinion. He's not ready to be a starter in the NFL. And I don't think he's ever going to be good playing for Cleveland. Let's just be honest. It's a cursed franchise. Look how lousy Baker Mayfield was when he was there. And as soon as he got out of Cleveland, he became one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's something about Cleveland. Just you can't have success there.
John, could it be? There's no business standpoint, right? You're not getting anything for Deshaun Watson, right? This is his last year. There's no chance at re-signing him. What does Deshaun Watson become if he doesn't become the starter here? Does he back up the most expensive backup in history?
Well, I don't believe that Sanders' son is an NFL quarterback. No more than I believe that former Titans quarterback Will Levis is an NFL quarterback. They're just not. So you paid all this money for Deshaun Watson, whatever personal things he went through. I mean, the guy is a legit quarterback. When he was on the Texans, he had good seasons. So I think if you're the Browns, you just go with Watson and you bite the bullet on it. You see what happens. But and you make the other young fella backup. But he doesn't have the overall set of skills to be an NFL quarterback in today's game.
Moving on to another game. I'll bring Frank in on this one. Cowboys, Seahawks. Again, I like to have a fan's perspective because both teams are resting their starters, right? So, we're running into one of those games. What are you looking at from a standpoint from the Cowboys, Frank, to be able to live up to Dak's expectations of winning a championship this year?
Well, it's all about defense with them. They've got 3 or 4, new defensive starters now, some through the draft and a couple through free agency and trades. Last year, they scored a lot of points. They were very, very good offensively. They've got 2 really good wideouts in CeeDee Lamb and Pickens. Dak Prescott is a serviceable quarterback. He's an NFL quarterback. They've got Williams that they just signed now as their running back. But it's all about the defense. And, are they going to be able to stop somebody when they have to stop them? And they couldn't do that the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, last year they were pathetic. And so, are they in fact going to be able to stop teams, in the third and fourth quarter when they've got to stop drives in close games? That still remains to be seen. They've got better talent. They've drafted well. And we'll have to just, see where they end up. But, I'll watch the game tonight. There's not going to be much that you're going to really garner from any of this. So, it'll be something to have on the TV instead of having to watch, replays of some other crap. So the long and short of it is, we'll see what happens, but it'll start to build momentum. This is what the preseason does. Game 2, it gets a little bit more serious. Game 3, it gets pretty serious because guys are trying to make the team or not make the roster. And then before you know it, it's going to be September 9th, and we're going to be watching real football.
Yeah. Dan, another game today is the Rams at the Chiefs. That's a marquee matchup. Looks like that could be a potential Super Bowl matchup if Patrick Mahomes could get his ACL and LCL injuries. But one thing I'm looking at, and not all, Justin Fields gets a chance under Andy Reid, and he gets a start today, Dan. And this feels like Justin Fields' last chance or third last chance. But if you can't do it with Andy Reid, you're not going to be able to do it with many coaches. So looking at Justin Fields today, anything to get your attention to the Rams?
Well, Chiefs? I can't imagine that he's looking to be the starter on the Chiefs, given who the starter is. But maybe he can get his game together behind an actual offensive mind. I think that was the problem in some other stops before here for him. The Jets, the Steelers with Tomlin, who doesn't know anything about quarterbacking, and but now he's with somebody who knows the position, knows offense, and maybe he can parlay that into a trade or a move to another team next year, where he can start somewhere. We'll see. I mean, the one thing I was going to say, if I could go back to the Browns situation, they're look, this is the Browns' objective this year, to be one of the teams picking in the top 3 next year for their actual quarterback of the future. They don't want to win this year. That's why they got rid of Myles Garrett. They're just looking to coast through 2026, have the bad record, finish 4th in the AFC North, and get maybe even the top pick in the draft next year. If I were betting money, my guess is Cleveland is either the worst or second worst team in the NFL this season.
I was going to say that's worked out so well for them for the last 4 years.
No, it really hasn't. but the 2027 class does have some legitimate talent in it. The problem with Cleveland is that Cleveland has just always been such a hapless franchise.
The thing with these quarterbacks, and they're moving around quite a bit, is, and I'm looking forward to seeing if Justin Fields fits the Andy Reid system. And if a quarterback fits the system and syncs with the quarterback coach and syncs with the OC, they can have a career-changing situation. And that's one of the more difficult things about the NFL. And I feel sorry for a lot of these quarterbacks is they just don't line up with the team and fit. And that's really, really important with the highly technical aspect of this game. And that's one of the great reasons why it's so popular. It's because it is thrilling, because it is so technically precise. It is physical. It's violent. Yeah, it's fast. but it's so smart. These guys are so smart. What goes on the field.
And you got
hey, Dan, you're going to have
Yes.
to be really bad to be worse than the Arizona Cardinals.
That's true.
That's true. You're going to have to be really.
That's true.
Cardinals with the first pick, Browns with the second.
Yeah, there you go. It's.
No, you can,
like I said, I left myself some wiggle room, some first, or either the worst team or the second worst team.
I'm rooting for the Browns to be like 5-12, 6-11. Get that 10th pick. You know, just be good enough. And quiet.
Yeah. No, you know what? I become a nerd for this stuff, and if we want to try to bring the quarterback play up a notch, this Rams-Chiefs game is pretty cool because you have Sean McVay and Andy Reid. They're playing their backups. You know, you got Ty Simpson as rookie, Stetson Bennett, who was great in college, and Justin Fields. So let's see what they can do for these kids because ultimately, when you're looking at Sean McVay, you never know. He can turn somebody into a winner, you know, right away. We'll see. That feels like a good one. Brendan, are you into that game?
The Rams are saving themselves for the playoff run. They're not going to be putting any starters out there early in the season because they have
McVay never plays.
They've got a beast lineup.
Never.
God,
they really do. They really do. All right. Let's get to a quick break. Let's talk about Rosie's Gaming Casino. There's one right down the road from me. We'll get to that. When we come back, we'll talk a little college football, some WNBA. We'll be back right after this.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
You hear a lot about weight loss injections because the results are dramatic, but injections aren't for everyone. So doctors created a new generation weight loss supplement. This is non-prescription lean, and the science behind it is impressive. The studied ingredients in lean are intended to address weight loss in 3 powerful ways: help maintain healthy blood sugar, help control appetite, and help convert fat into energy so you burn it faster.
Get 20% off with discount code Godzilla at takelean.com. Code Godzilla at takelean.com.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Godzilla Wins, where you get the best insight and best information on how to win the most money ever.
Guess what? GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
You heard the man. The all-new GodzillaWins.com is all about winners, with fresh daily picks by J-Fred and your favorite players from the Godzilla Wins team. Get your hot takes from the show, then click the website for the dough. GodzillaWins.com.
GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
Let's get back to the show that's all about winning dough. Godzilla Wins. Less talk, more winners.
I love that mantra, guys. I actually came up with it.
Welcome back to Godzilla Win, where it's kind of more talk and less winners right now because we're talking preseason. No one preseason except for me, I guess. And if you have a problem, dial 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, we like to do picks on this show. Dial 1-800-GAMBLER. I've got a talented crew: John Fredericks, Frank Zaccanelli, Dan Hobgood, Chris Saxman, Brendan Statler. I'm your host for the next 15 minutes, Mitch Rogers, and then I'm handing the reins back over to John. I got to do a birthday brunch with my sister. Happy birthday, Lisa. All right, we talked a lot of NFL preseason in the first part of this show. Remind you, we are brought to you at WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, and Healthy Cell. But college football, 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from the debut of the Mountaineer Tailgate Show with yours truly, Mitch Rogers. Ding, ding, ding. But
Well,
also
suddenly he's available on Saturdays.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, no,
Suddenly.
You know what?
He's back.
Hey, it's all right. Me and John had some contract negotiations. We're good over here. We are fine over here. If you start seeing new lights and a new studio behind me, don't question it. 0 times 0 equals 0, guys. Just don't question it. All right. 2 weeks away, and it's the normal schools in the top 5, right? Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame. It feels so damn boring just naming those 5 schools, but it is what it is. Let's just start it off right now. Let's kick it around to the panel. John, who's winning the national championship this year on August 15th? Let me know.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, I didn't name
T-Tech?
You're not allowed to go off the 5 I named. That's crazy. Texas Tech. I like that. Frank, you got any early national contenders?
Well, we've covered all this on the Game on America show. I would tell you that, the reason that those same teams keep showing up is because of the structure of college football. We don't have enough time to get into that, but they have all the money. This whole NIL thing, John can cover that from top to bottom, what's going on with Congress and everything else. It's a mess in college football. It's unregulated. And the reason you see the same teams every year is because the same teams have all the money. If you want to know a couple of sleepers, the sleeper in the Big 10, which is now the Big 18, is USC. They're better than people think. And they're going to win 9 or 10 games and could sneak in to the college playoffs. They're a really solid team, and the coach Riley has got his butt up against the wall.
Yeah.
It's either he gets it done this year or he doesn't. The consensus, I think, for everybody, is Texas is going to be there. Ohio State's going to be there. Notre Dame has got the easiest schedule that I've seen in the last 10 years. I mean, you take a look at who they play. It's unbelievable. Their only real big game is against USC. They finally put that back on the calendar. So they have the benefit, if you will, of being able to schedule who the hell they want when they want. And I think this year they made a decision. We're just going to go, we're going to try to go undefeated. But here's the key with the college football. They could never be a 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed when you get into the playoffs because they don't play in a conference. So the best that they could do is come in on the 5th seed. So USC is my surprise team. In the Big 12, you gotta root for those Mountaineers. But man, oh man, Rodriguez is going to have his hands full again. The conference is pretty good. There'll be a grinded out kind of deal. And, Rodriguez, he doesn't have a whole lot to work with, but we're all rooting for him. How about that?
I think the game for USC this year, Frank, is their Oregon at USC on the 26th of September. This follows their opening 4 games as such. San Jose State at USC, Fresno State at USC, Louisiana at USC, and then USC at Rutgers. So they're going in 4-0 to Rutgers. I mean, to at home against Oregon. So they are set up for that run to be in the top tier. At least the top 10 by the midseason.
Yeah, they got to win. They got to win that game. If they could beat Oregon at home, I think that'll move them to 5-0. And then they still got to play, I think, Ohio State. They still got to play. It's a tough schedule in the Big 12. But I think they're my surprise team on the under over totals. If you want to really know what's going on in the Big 12, you got to watch. Game on America last week, go pull it up with John Fredericks. John, why don't you give some of your key picks that you picked in the Big 12 last week? We covered the Big 12, and you had some pretty good opinions.
Let's not leave USC here. Their 3 big games: Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon. They have to win at least one of those to get into the play.
And I think they beat Indiana. So for whatever the reason, I don't think Indiana's as good as everybody's touting them to be. We'll see. We'll see. But John, who are your better plays in the Big 12?
I got 4 major over under plays for the season. I bet them all equally, as everybody knows. I bet the same on each, but I got 4 best bets, and my best bet of the 4 is I bet the under on Texas Tech at 10.5. I think Texas Tech is going to win the conference. I think they're going to get one of the top 4 seeds, and I think they're going to win playoff games. And I think they got a shot to get in the final game. This team is tremendously talented. But when you're over under in that league is 10.5, to cash a ticket, you got to go 11-1. I mean, that means one Saturday somebody gets sick, one Saturday somebody gets hurt, one Saturday somebody throws 3 interceptions or 2 fumbles, you lose, because other than a handful of bottom feeders, the Big 12 is a very competitive, very physical football league. You're not going to run over teams, except maybe the Golden Knights in Disneyland. They're a dumpster fire, right? They got some issues. Iowa State's is probably going to win 2 games. Other than that, you got to play competitive football. I don't see them going 11-1. That's my best bet on the under. My 2 best bets over. Arizona State forks up. They got a tough schedule, 6.5. Tell me this team is not going to win 7 games with that talent. I think they run the table at home. That gives them the 7 wins. I like that. My other best bet is Arizona over. These are 2 good football teams. The problem with the Big 12, a lot of these teams, the over-under 6.5, the middle of that pack, they're all equal. They're all going to go 3-3 against each other, and now you're just flipping a coin one way or the other. So those are my 3 big bets, Big 12.
Mitch, let me ask you a question, because I really don't know the answer here. So the Big 12 still has a conference championship game, right?
Yeah.
Now, who will be in that game? Can BYU play Texas Tech in that game?
I think so. Yeah. Right, Brendan? Yeah. Tech. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be. Yeah. And BYU's got their first game against North Carolina, and they've actually they've done the opposite. They've actually put a team on there that they could lose to.
Yeah.
Well, and that's weird too. Like, and there's a myriad of problems with college football, but one of the good things was week 1 and week 2, all of a sudden you were starting to get some marquee matchups, but they have just been a detriment to these top teams. So now we're not seeing these. We're seeing half of the good matchups to start the year, and that kind of sucks, Brendan. I mean, West Virginia's doing it. You know, we've seen Penn State's and some really good Alabamas in the past, and now it's Coastal Carolina. And I get it. But we used to call it when in the 90s. We used to call it basically our preseason, because we would always schedule like Temple or something stupid.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm not crazy about with college football, and it's been this way for years. The first 2 or 3 weeks are so boring. I mean, you have Ohio State playing Toledo or something stupid like this. They're boring games, but every team does it, and I understand why they do it to an extent. But from an entertainment perspective, it's not very entertaining.
Well, Brendan,
I
beg to differ. If you got Ohio State minus 32.5 in the fourth quarter, if it's 30-0, you're on the edge of your seat. I don't care who
I mean, what's worse, preseason football or 32.5?
This is not just sports.
I don't care who they're playing.
These are financial opportunities.
Baby. Lay the wood. Lay the hammer down in the wood.
If you're minus 32.5 and it's 30-0, you're on the edge of your seat. Chris, let me ask you a question. Chris Saxon.
Yeah, man.
All right, we covered Belichick from top to bottom on the show last week.
Right.
There's so much to unpack there. Does he have a winning record this year? Does he keep his job? What about North Carolina? Because it's a huge story.
It's a huge story, first of all. But when you to Brendan's point, let's go to the schedule. He opens at game in TCU in Ireland. Then they go home against East Tennessee. They're at Clemson. They're home against Notre Dame. They're at Pitt. They're at Duke. They're home against Syracuse, home against Miami, at UConn, home against Louisville, at UVA, and home against NC State.
They're toast.
Yeah, that's not a good
win.
This
They
thing
got 3 wins.
screams.
Wait, no, hold on. Let's unpack.
They're toast.
They got
There
3
is
wins.
No,
nothing
he'll
to
win more than
unpack
3
about.
games. Go
Now,
ahead.
you're naming crapola ACC teams. There's no way it's.
No, he's going to beat
the
Syracuse.
The ACC is like the Big 12, but on the East Coast, and also including Cal and Stanford, which is stupid. But
East Coast.
look, when eventually the gods in the NCAA or the people who run these conferences or these teams, these teams are not, these businesses will figure out what long ago they figured out in Europe. You have to go to a relegated system. You have to play the top teams every week, and you have to make a lot more money. That's the way this thing is going to go. The conferences will go away for the two major and revenue-producing sports, football and basketball, and we're going to be back to the conferences for Olympic sports. Back to Frank's question, I hope Carolina goes 0 for everything because I've just grown up hating the Tar Heels. I don't think Bill Belichick is that great of a coach relative to the talent he had with Tom Brady. He's a great coach, but why is he not doing anything better at North Carolina just yet? Why isn't the talent lining up and going to him? Because the Big Ten is writing bigger checks.
Yeah, well, that's it. John,
don't like to be coached anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
John, what do you see with Belichick?
I mean, he's part of their brand now. They're in a very difficult, that AD there, Frank, probably in the toughest position of any AD in the country now with their situation.
Well, their GM's under investigation for.
Well, that guy's gone. I don't know what went on there. I don't even know what the allegations are, but it's not good. But the problem they got with Belichick is he's become their brand. They branded him Tar Heel, and now you got to cut that out. And it's still Bill Belichick, and he still should be a Hall of Fame coach. Why he didn't get in the Hall of Fame is beyond me. The guy's a Hall of Fame coach.
100%.
So
I
I
agree.
think you just got to have the patience. I mean, they made a lot of mistakes coming in. They tried to run it like they ran, the Patriots or something. It didn't work in college. He's got to figure the NIL out. I think he'll do that, but they need to revamp. So I don't think he's going anywhere, but this season is not going to be – it's not going to be a fun season for Bill.
Bill just needs to make sure that his girlfriend doesn't enter the transfer portal. But I mean, he's a coach with a losing record when Tom Brady isn't his quarterback. He was never as good as people made him out to be as a coach. He had the benefit of
how many points in the preseason rankings does North Carolina have?
Probably zero.
Oh, they're zero. Yeah. I mean, they're going to have a very
Western Michigan has more votes than Carolina.
Tough season.
I mean, I think that what they were hoping for is you take the North Carolina brand mixed with him, and you can flip it and turn it around and be the next Indiana.
That doesn't matter without a check behind
now,
it.
Mitch,
the brand. There is no brand other than someone's signature on the check.
Well, I'm saying North Carolina's brand as a school and as a basketball school.
The brand is the bank.
I mean, they've been in the baseball. Yeah. They've been to Omaha now. 3 out of the last 4 seasons. So baseball's great. Basketball's phenomenal. And
baseball loses money. Their basketball ain't that great anymore. They have to adapt to the NIL. Period.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But they think they're in a special place like above, but they are the same.
They are not
as Virginia Tech, as West Virginia. All teams that are trying to take once dominant programs or once prominent programs and trying to
great
themselves.
But look, go to your opening question. Go to your opening question, Mitch. What was your opening question? Why are we looking at the same teams every year at the top in the NCAA?
Well, it's all about money. It's all about
money. I mean, you know, James Madison ain't going to go there. Carolina, Coastal Carolina, they might be anomalies one year the next, but you're going to look at for about the next 5 to 10 years. Let's run it off. Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Indiana, which has a huge fan base. They're just coming along in the NIL world. Thank you, Mark Cuban. Miami, Texas A&M. Texas A&M has more money than God, literally. And Oklahoma, Ole Miss. Alabama's at 11. These are money situations. And great, it's good for the game. But let's stop kidding ourselves, okay? The Carolinas, the NC States, the Virginias are going to be second-tier teams for a very long time.
Well, you say that, but then Miami came within one pass of winning the national championship, and they're not even in what you said. So,
Virginia, if they'd won the ACC championship, would have made the college playoff last year, and they have money now.
You still got to play the game, dude. And so I get what you're saying about the money.
I listed off.
Look at the Dodgers. What? They got beat again last night.
I listed off Miami. I mean, I don't know what.
Now, Mitch,
I missed Miami.
on the
I'm
subject
sorry.
of the ACC, Mitch, we didn't even get to the best part of the Drew Aller story. The person responsible for screwing him up is now the head coach of Virginia Tech. I love my life.
You say that now. Virginia Tech has talent coming in.
They do. They have a lot of talent, and you know what we also have? Top of the hour, man. I am done hosting. John, I have to send this to you.
I need a correction.
I got to take over?
I need a correction.
Go.
The Dodgers beat my Milwaukee Brewers 3-1 last night.
See?
I thought you were a Pirates fan. I don't blame you for
but-
jumping off the
but Pat
bandwagon.
Murphy and I played baseball together.
I'm thinking Thursday night where Diaz blew another 3-run lead in the ninth inning.
Just so we're clear, Chris Saxman, his pick last week went in the toilet. You and me had the Dodgers last week. They win 2-1. I don't have anything else to say about it. And they beat the Brewers.
No, I had Dodgers breaking the streak last week.
You did. You and me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but our good friend John Fredericks, he
cares?
He wet the bed.
Yeah.
Here's
the
the
Pirates
deal.
going for
Also,
suck to blow.
Tonight's Dodger game against the Brewers is an unbelievable game because you got the monster, the Polish, whatever the hell his last name is, and they're favored on the road. So this could be good.
Oh, so I think we're teasing a lot of Major League Baseball.
This could be good.
What's going to happen?
What's that guy throw at 104 miles an hour?
I'm betting the Dodgers tonight.
Velocity's overrated, guys. You don't need that. Just
Totally.
look at Skeens. You're good.
It's a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, look at Skeens. Right.
We're fine. He's not at 95 miles an
Oh,
hour.
you mean the guy in the Sheets commercial?
This is the Polish matchup of the day.
All right, hey, we're going to go to the
Zarowski and
the second
Wroblewski.
hour. But hey, for college football, watch out for Navy. Braxton Woodson and Navy are going to make the college football playoff.
Stop with these reaches just
Wow.
for clicks. Is
Mitch Rod with a hot take on the way out.
Not a reason.
Stop it.
Google it during
Stop it.
Mitch Rod throwing
what was his name?
105 right now.
Google
was his
Navy.
name?
They lose.
Braxton Woodson.
No, he just got deployed. Trump deployed him to the Middle East. That guy's gone. That guy's gone. He's in the Middle East. He's
going to the war playoff
he's on
in
the
Iran.
USS Trump. He's gone. That guy got drafted.
They just got sloppy Manning coming. Oh, darn it. The last Manning brother is
He just
coming
threw
in.
a Patriot missile right at Tehran.
No, wait a minute. The Donald is looking for recruits right now. He went and picked them up.
He's looking for better gas prices.
All right, boy. I'm going to put my Storm and Norman Schwarzkopf shirt on. I'm headed out to brunch. John's taking over. It's been a great hour.
No, stop. Please don't go. Stop.
I love
Stay
you
where you
guys.
are.
And I'm going to stay tuned for the talk on the WNBA.
What will we do without you?
Thanks, Chris. Love it. See you later. See you
Smell
next
some
week.
sarcasm.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pierce 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus, free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
You hear a lot about weight loss injections because the results are dramatic, but injections aren't for everyone. So doctors created a new generation weight loss supplement. This is non-prescription lean, and the science behind it is impressive. The studied ingredients in lean are intended to address weight loss in 3 powerful ways: help maintain healthy blood sugar, help control appetite, and help convert fat into energy so you burn it faster.
Get 20% off with discount code Godzilla at takelean.com. Code Godzilla at takelean.com.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
John Frederick.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild,
They want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women's sports. They're going to open up their border.
Trump hits the speed dial.
Thank you for calling in on such short notice.
You came first, John.
Wake up with the John Frederick Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive J-Fred radio network, and all across the social.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Right now, download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play and get the entire Mountaineers sports world in the palm of your hand. Right now, get notified when new stories drop about your favorite Mountaineers teams and athletes. Download the WV Sports Nation app right now. Get updates on next level Mountaineers like Weatherholt and Joe Mazzulla. All that and more right in your pocket right now. Download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Download the app right now. Godzilla Wins, where you get the best insight and best information on how to win the most money ever.
Guess what? GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
Back to the show.
Welcome back to Godzilla Wins. I'm John Fredericks, filling in for Mitch Rogers. Got a birthday party with his daughter. He's a good dad, so he's gone. Want to get to our panel. Frank Zaccanelli, former minority owner, Dallas Mavericks. Frank, also their president and GM, now the host of Game On America Sports, heard on the John Fredericks Media Network every day, Monday to Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Miss a day, you miss a lot. You want to know what's going on? Best sports and information analysis show in America, right here on our network with Frank Zaccanelli and his team. Brendan Statler, WV Sports Nation, one of our writers, also part of the WV Torch sales team. Good job, Brendan. Our favorite saying there: 0 times 0 is 0. The indelible, the one and only Chris Saxman, backed by imminent and perpetual popular demand. Chris, thanks for being with us. Also,
True.
Comes on our show on a daily basis and has been with me for 15 years and still standing. And he married up like I did. That's what we have in common. Also, Dan Hobgood. Well, he's the host. I mean, I'm sorry. He is the executive morning producer and sometimes host when I have to go, is Dan Hobgood, who runs my show in the AM and doing a super job. Also runs the Killer Carl show at 8 a.m. on Saturday. So good to have everybody with us. As always, we're going to have a lot of fun. And don't forget, we got right after us, we got picks coming.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, baby.
This guy's on fire.
On fire.
John Stinton, my partner, is on fire.
3 in a row.
He's on at 11 o'clock right after this show. If you want to make money, you got to watch it. He is the best handicapper without question in the United States of America, maybe the planet Earth. And he's got some real good information that's coming up. His best customer, by the way, is just to the left of me on the screen. So, the long and short of it is John Stinton, 11 o'clock, past the wire racing. You got to watch it. It's full of information and you make some money.
Not only that, he's hit 3 in a row. He got off to a little bit of a tough start, and he said, stay with me when I get hot. And we stayed with him 3 in a row, baby. And as soon as the show's over, I get my picks. I got to take the train to Roslyn, take the metro, put in my bets and come back because you can't bet horses.
A true horseman. A true horseman.
Let's read that disclaimer since you have to take the subway
a true
out of your.
1-8. I got to take this up. I mean, who does this? I did this on a Thursday afternoon. John texted me, and I'm like, okay, I got to go. I got to go on the metro station to go to Roswell, Virginia, in order to put my horse racing bet in. Okay, I got to call 1-800-GAMBLER. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER for help. 1-800-GAMBLER for help. When you bet, only bet responsibly and bet for entertainment purposes only, and have fun with it. Other than that, not a good thing. Many of us came from environments where we saw some of the downsides of it. So in all seriousness, folks, 1-800-GAMBLER. Speaking of horse racing, our horse, which is stabled right now in Colonial Downs, Baymont Parfait, looks like he's getting in on Sunday, a week from Sunday. That's going to be the 23rd. Of course, they have to. We think there's a race the secretary is going to put up there that fits his class, and so likely to be in next Sunday. So we'll keep
What's the horse's name? Sir Limsalot?
Baymont Parfait. Baymont Parfait. So we're looking for a winner. He hasn't.
The Baymont. He tried to change it to the Baymont Astros, but it was already taken. So
you can't change your horse's name. But
yeah.
he had a little.
He tried to do it.
He had a respiratory issue, and he's getting better. So we'll see what
that was Sir Coughsalot.
Oh, that was on the conference call. John Stinton said, "Look, that's illegal. You can't do that." And he says, "Are you sure? Then can I call it Houston's Baymont?" And he said, "No." And so, this is what we're dealing with.
Well, different horses. Once they're named, obviously you can't change the name. Not like the radio stations we buy, where we just change the.
Three legs is better than four.
We just change the call letters. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about here. We're going to go to baseball. First, though, don't forget WV Sports Nation for all your West Virginia sports. You want to go there and download our free app. Just go to Google Play or the App Store. WV, and then Sports Nation. Download the app there. We've also got our TV app coming out within a week. And once we do that, you'll just go to jfmn.tv, App Store, or Google. You'll download that. You'll click it. We're live during the week, 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. when Frank's show ends, Monday to Friday, and also here most of the day on Saturday.
Yeah, Game On America can't wait for that app. Cannot wait for that app.
It's about a week away. Yes.
Well, no, the app is going to make it so much easier on Roku and on Fire Stick and on Apple TV. These are big mediums that our show is on, John's show's on, and it'll be big. And we just got to be able to get people to, make it user-friendly.
Right. Yep, we're almost there. We're about a week away. We're also adding Google TV next week, so that'll be the fourth channel we're adding. So we continue to grow on the live video. And Saxon, we're going to have live programming Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then we'll go from there. But 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. live programming, nonstop, the whole day. Also, Wendy Bell Live joins us on Monday, from 10 to noon. So that's going to be brand new. So all those good things happening.
Well, congratulations, John. Just taking a step back from making fun of your dead horse, and what you've done with what you've done with your business over the years is really inspirational for all the young entrepreneurs out there struggling, trying to figure out how to make their way in the world. You've been nothing but an inspiration to those that I know and myself personally. So I wish you and Ann the very best as you grow your network.
Let's get a golf clap.
Thank you.
Now I get $100.
Yeah, now you
no.
Promo code Godzilla.
He's trying to get his
the
deduction back.
$100 fine. Yeah, the $100 fine. He's trying to get out of the fine. He's worried about that fine.
Truth be told, my wife Ann, the CEO, really built the network. She pieced this thing together with $200, and she is a phenomenal young lady, brilliant young lady. How she pieced it together, and she stood by her. She stood by her vision, which was we're going to be independent. We're not going to be beholden to anybody. No bank, no investors, no venture capitalists, nothing. No one big advertiser. We're going to do it the hard way. But at the end of the day, she said we're going to have something that we can get up every day, be proud of, and nobody's going to control our destiny but us. Been there, done that.
It's a great business, a great asset, and I wish you and Ann the very best. But you're also the guy pulling and getting up every day and doing it, and that's work. And I honor that, sir.
Well, thank you. Okay, let's get to baseball, where somehow, some way, the Houston Astros have a 3-game lead in the AL West. I think they're 3 games over 500, and they now have a shot to actually get a bye. The AL West, a dismal division. Texas now losing every day. Astros beat Seattle. Their closer coughs up 5 in the bottom of the 10th. Astros win that game. They're reeling. Texas not winning. Athletics ripped with injuries. They're waiting to go to Vegas. They had a pretty good start, but everybody's hurt on the team. Texas now with 2 more injuries. Astros are going to win this division. Then you go to the AL Central. That's as pathetic. The Detroit Tigers unload Scoble. Everybody thinks they're done. They're now in second place, 3 games behind the White Sox, who 2 seasons ago set the record for the most losses in the major leagues. They got a 3-game lead in the Central over the Tigers. Nobody saw that coming. Then you go basically to the AL East. Tampa Bay 6-game lead over the Yankees. Yankees are still favored to win that. Nobody can really understand why Tampa Bay is not getting any respect. The Red Sox came from nowhere. They were sellers. Now people are picking them to win the whole thing. Their record has been unbelievable, although they got beat last night by Pittsburgh. Then you go to the National League, which you got the Brewers, best record in baseball. Then you got the Dodgers with all the money. Atlanta's in first place, big in the East. So it looks like all the good teams are in the NL. All the bad teams are in the AL. And I guess, I don't know where we go from here, guys. I've been waiting for the Padres to get hot. Every time I bet them, figuring I'm going to catch the streak, they lose the next 2 games. Now they've won 6 in a row. And so I'm looking for them. Philadelphia's not gotten on track here the whole season. Where do we go from here? I'm going to start with Frank Zaccanelli.
Well, I mean, I think that when you look at the National League, you really got 2 teams. I mean, when you really boil it all down, I think it's Brewers and Dodgers. And, the Brewers, like I said, I'm a sentimental guy with the Brewers because Pat Murphy and I are friends. And, I love the guy. I think he's a great coach. I think he's tough, and he's doing it, with less to do than what the Dodgers have. I mean, they've paid for everything. We've covered that over and over and over. In the American League, it's just a bunch of really not so good teams. I mean, the Yankees are over 500. They're not very good. Tampa Bay gets no respect at all. And here's the great thing about Tampa Bay. I think their payroll, if I remember when we did the shows, is about 111 million versus the Dodgers, which is 440 million. They could end up playing in the World Series. So Tampa Bay is doing more with less than anybody else in the league. And when you tell me the White Sox are in the lead or doing something, I mean, it just, the baseball's not been a great year for baseball this year. That's my view of the world.
Well, you got the haves and have-nots. And one of the things, Saxman, that's been papered over, is everybody telling us, well, we don't need a salary cap because look at all the teams that are in the playoff hunt. Look at all the teams that are in the wild card. Yeah, but that's because there's mediocrity at the bottom, right? That's all that means. And they expanded it to all these teams. Mm-hmm. And so I like the new system. I have no problem with it. I bitched about it at the beginning, but now seeing all these teams have a shot, it's good for the fans. It's good for baseball. But it's not parity. It's mediocrity fighting each other for a couple of playoff spots. And I think that's really the misnomer.
Yeah, it's a misnomer. And I think competitive sports in other leagues have shown that the salary cap systems work. And everyone freaks out when the players all freak out for a salary cap. We don't know what the salary cap would be. So they're arguing against something they don't know about. I think most baseball fans just want to see a floor so that their teams year in, year out can be relatively competitive and enjoy the sport more and more. If you look at, we're talking about the American League, the number 2 team in run scoring differential is only 1 off of the New York Yankees. Guess who that team is? The New York Yankees have a plus 87 run differential for the season. Guess who's number 2? The Detroit Tigers. This is the damnedest thing what's going on in the AL right now. It's so, I mean, what the Red Sox are doing, I wouldn't be surprised to see Red Sox in Houston in the ALCS.
That's my prediction.
Can you imagine that? And I think I would disagree with Frank a little bit. I think there's 4 teams that are legitimate in the National League when you include the Cubs and the Braves. I think you have a strong Final Four there. If it works out that way, I don't know how they're lined up right now in the brackets, but it's going to be a great season. I think baseball comes down to who's hot in late September and October. Who's got the arms? Who's got when they expand the rosters? Who's got that extra something that no one's seeing right now, like the Toronto had last year with whatever his name is, the kid you're not talking about this year.
So Frank, if there's a lockout, right, the owners don't have to pay the players, right? How do the players get money? They just live on their savings.
No, yeah, they live off of the billions that they've made. But yeah, if there's a lockout, nobody gets paid. But there also is no television money and everything else coming in for the owners. So it's a wash. And Chris, I did do a little bit of studying on this potential salary cap. They said that if they had to set a cap this year, it would have been $255 million per team. If you think about that, they would have had a floor and a cap.
Okay.
That's about right.
Yeah.
But the Dodgers, when they get done signing Scoble, they're going to be at $500 million or something like that. So I don't know how you readjust all that, but yeah, during a lockout, John.
Well,
paid.
Frank, if I can, before we get off that, how do you adjust for all the deferred payments that the Dodgers have suggested and are contracted out? How do you put that in a salary cap?
It's very difficult. And what I'm telling you is the thing has gone almost too far. But at some point they got to adjust it. And again, I think the likelihood now, I didn't think this in the beginning, but I think the likelihood now of a strike is probably 60%, 65%, that they will start the season next year in a strike. And they should be negotiating now, but that never happens. You look at all the leagues, they wait till the last minute, they see who blinks first, and that's where it is. So, I think that we're looking at, and again, can baseball survive another strike? Can they really take that hit? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
What would happen to the minor leagues? Do the minor leagues keep playing?
Minor leagues, I believe, keep playing, but I'm not sure about that. Brendan, do you know?
I am not sure about that either.
I think that they do.
I think the minor leagues keep playing, John. But
so they get paid, they get paid. A lot of them got bonuses, or they getting like $5,000 a month or something.
They're going to get their reps in. They got to.
There's a minor leagues keep playing, so they're not going to honor the picket line.
Well, no, I don't even think they're part of the association, though. You got to remember, it's the Players Association. But I mean, what are you going to have on TV? Pawtucket against the Syracuse Chiefs? I mean,
yes.
Yeah,
it'd be more entertaining than
I think the Red Sox left Pawtucket. I think.
Well, I mean, that's back.
Anyway, no, but John, I said it on your show several months ago. I think Trump comes in before the election and tries to work out a deal publicly to show that he's doing something.
He might do that, but it's not going to work. I mean, he doesn't have there's nothing that he can do, just like he can't do anything with the NIL and he can't do anything with the NCAA. There's nothing he can do. He does an executive order, gets overturned in 15 minutes. There's no legislative appetite to pass anything meaningful. Cruz has already told me that he's got no Democrat votes for any kind of a change. So forget about it. So nothing's going to happen, and it just is going to go on till the whole thing.
Well, I think if the midterms go as bad, I know we don't do politics here. I'm just talking structurally. If you look at the way this thing rolls out after the World Series, and you're going to have sky high ratings, and people are going to be talking about it, I think it's incumbent. I think the president should do something and step in and say, hi guys, remember that antitrust exemption?
He could do that, but he can't come down on the side of the players because he just can't do it. Because
he's got to come in and make the deal. He's got to come in and make the deal.
He's got to make the damn deal. But the only deal that he can make is a hard salary cap, and that's why they're going to be a strike because you got Bryce Harper and them out there don't want it. So they're going to have to sit the season out. And will baseball survive? Yeah, it'll come back stronger.
And Chris, let me just add into that a little bit. Here's the problem that you have is that executive orders used to stand 10, 15, 20 years ago. I mean, I spent a lot of time in Washington. They used to really stand. Now they're challenged. Everything that this president does is challenged by some federal judge somewhere in the country. Okay? These people come out of left field. If the Democrats either take the House or the Senate, one of the two, nothing will get done. We're going to be in 2 years of gridlock. Trump will try to do everything he can do. and it's going to get overturned. A lot of it will get overturned by these federal judges now that think that they have the power to be able to come in. You know, you got to look and see, you know, how many cases can you really send to the Supreme Court? How many can you send there? Because, I mean, a lot of these need to be sent to the Supreme Court, but it's a mess. And I don't see it. I don't see it changing. But, John, I disagree with you as the last word. If baseball goes into a prolonged lockout or strike or whatever you want to call it, I think it's going to hurt the game again. I think
100%.
it's going to hurt the game again.
Well, it's got to be a year. And here's the problem. If you go in and you have a lockout, all the fans want is a floor and a cap. So if you come out with anything other than a hard cap and a hard floor, and this is what will happen. It'll be a soft cap like the NBA. Yeah, your cap's 250, but if you go to 5, you know, you get a slap on the wrist and pay part of the $12 billion the guy just paid for the Lakers. Like, nobody cares. That's not going to change anything. And that's the fear. To me, you got one shot to fix the game. One shot, you take it, you do it. But I think we all know, at the end of the day, owners will cave. We'll end up with some BS soft cap.
Baseball cannot lose this fight to the growing rise of soccer around the world and in America. They can't lose another generation of kids. Right now, more kids are playing soccer than are playing Little League baseball, and you just can't keep this up for the future of the game. You can't shut down for a year and expect your fans and those kids to come back who are going to be.
It's going to be tough. Brandon, take the last word on this one. I know you got an opinion here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to go with John on this one. I don't know if the game survives if we don't put some type of guardrail in this, if we don't have a floor and a cap, and you just have teams like the Dodgers buying up the best players every year. I mean, it's just – I don't see how that product lasts for very long if this continues. But, you know, I could be wrong. It still generates a lot of money, but the fact that there's barely any parity in the league, I don't see how that survives long term.
Well, spoken by a true Pirates fan.
Yeah, believe me.
I think the like I talk about in the NCAA for football and basketball, Major League Baseball might be looking at a 2-tier system where you're talking about the a relegation system where you have 2 leagues because they play nationally anyway, and there's no differentiation in the DH anymore. And just go to that and make it a more competitive, more watchable game throughout the season where more teams are playing for the playoffs.
Right.
That's what
maybe
that system does.
You have a league with half or a third of the teams ultimately than what we have now.
No, just split them in half. You have the lower team and you have your higher tier, and they play and relegate up and down like they do in the European leagues. Those are ratings bonanzas because every game matters and they're all in the playoff hunt. That's why you have such a rabid fan base over there. They're all playing for something every year.
Well, Dan, at the end of the day, I don't think the game survives long term without a cap. I just don't see it. Eventually, when you look at what the Dodgers have done with Skubal and with Kyle Tucker and basically buying players to get them off the market, how does the game survive? I mean, it's just not going to be able to function. And if you look at all you got to do, guys, the best example, obviously football. And I always say this, big shout out to the NFL Players Association, person at the time, Gene Upshaw, that had a vision that said, a rising tide is going to lift all boats. Mm-hmm. He was absolutely right. And then a big shout out to the NHL that nobody was watching it. The sport was going nowhere. They put a hard cap in, and now it's the hottest growth sport in the country. Yeah. So all you got to do is look at the facts. The NBA is dying. The soft cap's a joke. Everybody knows it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And my fear is that's what you end up with because the owners don't have the balls to stick this one out.
Well, the problem is they're not – the sport has to win on the value of the sport for the fans. And do you engage the fans? And I think baseball is the best sport. But if they screw it up because they can't get a hold of the salary cap, they deserve to have it go the way of the dodo bird and just gradually decline relative to all the other options that are available for sports entertainment out there.
Well, Chris, do you know why baseball in our society is important in today's world, 2026? Because it is the only sport the only sport that is somewhat affordable for the guy from General Motors to go take his 3 kids and go eat a hot dog, have a beer, and watch a game.
Once a year.
That's why it's important. If you take a look at what's going on in the NBA arenas, if you look at what's going on in NFL stadiums, even hockey now, we got a really good hockey team here in Dallas, the Dallas Stars. It's just not affordable for the average guy. And so baseball is important from that standpoint of being able to bring your kids, to see a professional sports game. And, I'm worried about it because, it's a mess on all sides. And I'll tell you who's going to fight the salary cap more than anybody is going to be the Players Association. They don't want it.
Of course.
They don't want it. All right.
Okay, let's get to baseball picks before we run out of time. So I know you guys have got your picks ready.
Let's do a review, though. So, Chris Saxton, you and I were 1-0 last week, right?
Close enough.
1-0. John, what was your record last week? What was the team?
On Saturday, I was
the Orioles.
4-1.
The Orioles.
I was 4-1 last week. My only loss was whoever was playing the Dodgers, D-backs, losing.
All right. Okay.
So I won 4-5. I've been hot on Godzilla wins. I've won before Thursday. I was 20 wins of 25 plays, so I'm on a burner, 20 of 25. I did lose on Texas on Thursday night, so that makes me 20 of 26. I had no bets last night, 0, which rarely happens, but nothing I liked. I like 4 games today, and I'm going to run these down because I am hot. Number 1, I like the Padres over Cleveland on the road. I'm going to take 110. Why? Padres have won 6 straight. I've been waiting for this team to get hot. I'm not a believer in the Guardians. They are punchless team. They're not scoring. They're not scoring at home. I think the Padres finally get hot. They catch fire. I'm going with the Pods plus 110. Rays minus 146 at the Trop over the Orioles. Here's why. Best record at home. You got to go back to April to find the Rays losing 2 games in a row at home. Orioles won last night. I'm going with the Rays minus 146. Astros minus 119 at home. Why? Seattle blew that game last night. They had a 2-run lead going to the bottom of the 10th. They brought their closer in. He coughed up a 5 spot. He threw 40 pitches. He's done. He can't come back. Seattle reeling, losing games they should win. So I'm basically fading Seattle. And then I love the Dodgers tonight at home, plus 120 over what is arguably now the best pitcher in baseball. When I get the Dodgers at home, I don't care if they're playing against Ted Williams. I'm going to take the Dodgers at home, plus 120. Also, I watched the Phenom last Sunday. He was sharp, but not as sharp as he's been. So I think the Dodgers here win this game. When I get the Dodgers as an underdog, I'm all over. Those are my 4 picks for today, and you can find them on Godzilla Wins. Go to GodzillaWins.com. Who wants to jump in?
I agree with 3 of those, the Padres, the Rays, and the Dodgers. Load them up.
Brendan, you got a game?
Yeah, I got a few, actually. I'm going to pick the Pirates to beat the Red Sox today just because this is what the Pirates do. They go on winning streaks when it doesn't matter anymore. I like the Cubs at minus 185 against the Cardinals today at Wrigley. And I'm going to break from you guys on this one. I'm going to take the Brew Crew to beat the Dodgers today, minus 130.
Well, I'm in on the big Polish Kabasi. So I'm in on the Brew Crew today.
Well, there's 2 Polish guys pitching to start.
Yeah, but I got to go with the big Kabasi.
So this is another game now. This is another game where Frank and I are going head-to-head. Head-to-head games.
What about, I do
let's
this
just
on
start with
purpose.
A little side bet.
Go ahead, Frank.
We'll talk afterwards.
Side bet.
Yeah. No. I do this somewhat planned. But no, the big Kabasi. I'm going with the big Kabasi today. He's going to throw a 4-hitter, and it's going to be a 3-1 Brewer win.
All right. We're going head-to-head again. So far, you're 1-0. What else you got?
Well, I think the Atlanta Braves are going to win today. I looked at the Braves. They are going up against a really good pitcher They play the Diamondbacks, right? I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, the Diamondbacks are throwing one of their best guys. But I think that the Braves are going to win at home. They've been a little bit sporadic back and forth, but it's a game on Saturday. I think the Braves will win it. And they're going against the Diamondbacks. They should be. The Diamondbacks should really be favored. They got a really good pitcher going tonight, but they're not. I think you got to lay with the Braves like 130 or something.
Yeah,
so I like the Braves as well.
Minus 120, 28 on the road.
I like the Braves.
Frank, before I get to Dan, let me just ask you something. I have this theory that every season when you're gambling on athletics, you have a team. There's a team. I don't know who. There's a team that every player has that they can't win a bet on. They bet on them, they lose. They bet against them, they win. It doesn't matter what it is. And this has followed me for 50 years, since I'm 18 years old. Every sport, every season, I got one team I can't win a bet on either way. This year, it is the Atlanta Braves. As good as they are, every game I bet them, they lose. Every time I take the other team, they win. I'm like 0 for 15. And I had the same thing in hockey last season. I forget who it was. I forget who. I think it was the Flyers. I bet on the Flyers. They lose. I bet against them. They win. Do you have that same thing? Does that happen, or is that just me?
No, it happens. The last 2 or 3 years, Mike the Greek, who's on Fridays on Game on America, 6 to 7 East Coast time on the John Fredericks Network. Mike the Greek and I, we can't win a game on Dallas, and every time that we bet against them, they score 44 points. So it's the same thing. I think we all have that same thing. So Dallas Cowboys is mine.
My Stone Cold locks are the ones that I bet on.
You can bet the Flyers 4 times in the playoffs last year when we played them. Come on, man.
If you want to win money, follow my picks.
I know, that's why we lost.
Penguins. You guys were here. I bet them every single game. They got swept 0 for 4.
It was 4-1. They did win one game.
4-2. We won 2. Come on.
We did 2. Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, that's right. You got the game.
Yeah, the two games.
I was having a great morning.
2 games you won. I bet the Flyers.
The freaking Flyers, for God's sake.
I went 0-6 on that round of the playoffs.
Can we move on to something more meaningful than last season's NHL playoffs?
Well, the key question is, what do you feel about the Braves today, Costanza?
I don't bet on or against Atlanta. I just don't because I'm going to lose. It doesn't matter what.
We got your point.
Well, I was going to go the opposite. Whatever you had.
I was doing well until you brought up the Penguins playoffs. Jesus.
Go ahead, Dan.
I like the Pirates today. Right-handed pitcher that they're facing. I like the Padres against the Guardians. I think the Guardians are 2-8 in their last 10. I like the Rays against the Orioles for the reasons that you said. Also, I think the Rays have won 9 of their last 10. So those would be the three games I'd be looking at.
Okay, close that one out. We got our picks. You can find mine on Godzilla Wins. We got to get Frank on Godzilla Wins. Frank, we got to get you a code there. You're going to be good. You're going to be good on Godzilla.
One of the things that I do want to just spend 1 minute on, we've changed the name of the weekly show from Past the Wire Sports to Game on America Sports, but we're connected now with 3 shows. We're connected to this show, which I'm now, have the privilege of being a host on. We have the Game on America Sports Show every night on the John Fredericks Network, 6 to 7 East Coast time. And then we have Past the Wire Racing, which is on right after the show with John Stinton. So we've really got now a mix of 3 shows on the John Fredericks Network that are all pretty much intertwined together. And I don't think it stops at 3. I think there's going to be a lot more growth, as John has mentioned. Once this app gets done, we had Google TV. There's going to be a lot of stuff here. So I'm really excited to be part of the team here with John and Ann and all you wonderful people. And Dan, thank you. You didn't cut me off today. This is great. No, I got a couple of weeks ago, I got snapped off by your understudy, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're understudy. So it's always nice not to be whacked out of here. But
I was worried. I was like, oh, I did that.
No, but I think this group with some additions, I think we could really build a sports programming on the John Fredericks Network that really is meaningful, because I watch the rest of the garbage that's out there. It's garbage. It's just garbage. It's all produced, overproduced. God bless ESPN, right? I go all the way back to when they first started. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, a sports channel. This was back, I think, 1978, 76, 78, somewhere in there. But, it's become garbage.
80.
And they become political, and they become all these things. We keep all that out. And on Game On America Sports, we cover 3 days of the hottest news, and I'll put that up against anybody. And then we got college football, and then we got college football Thursday with John Fredericks, and then we've got NFL football on Friday with John Stinton and Mike the Greek. So we've really got a really nice lineup, and you never know, one of you guys might be asked to come on Game On America to give your opinions. And Dan, if our guy goes down with COVID or something, you'll be right in there. So it's all good, John.
Well, listen, the vision was to, start a News Talk Sports network and combine the audience with conservative talk and sports. And when we first wrote that vision out within the industry, I can tell you that Ann and I got laughed at. But we've been laughed at a lot. We laughed at a lot. We don't care what people think because we're independent. They all mocked us. The experts within the industry said it would fail. And here we are today. And our sports network continues to grow. I mean, if you look across our radio network who are covering, I'll just run the thing down. West Virginia Mountaineers football, Alabama football, depends on the station. Alabama football, University of Virginia football, Maryland football. Then I'm probably forgetting something. Then you
the Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Titans, Steelers. You go to hockey. You've got Caps now. We got Caps. We got Penguins. I mean, it just goes on from there. Baseball, Yankees, Pirates. So
really?
Yeah, we're just
You need like a writer for every single one of those teams, man.
No, but John, don't talk too much because these guys are going to want to raise. You got to take it easy.
You're damn right.
Yeah, they're going to want to raise, John, if you keep going.
We're going to need to renegotiate contracts.
Brendan can get a raise Monday by making more sales and earning commission. That's it.
There you go.
So, Brendan, you got a phone and a pen.
I take payment in tickets in lieu of payment.
We get you tickets. We get you.
I know.
Tickets.
It's time. It's time.
Pens caps.
It's time.
I don't know if Ann and I are going to give up our caps pens.
If you take me to a Pens Caps game, I will buy and put on my body a Penguins jersey with the number 7, and my name will be Game on the back.
All right,
I would love to walk around the Verizon Center with Game 7 on a Penguins jersey.
They changed the name to the United Center, but yeah,
I still don't care.
Same.
They changed it again. It's not Capital One anymore.
I think it's called the United Center. It's under rehab. So when we got our season tickets, I was very impressed because they brought us in. The stadium's not done, right? It's all under construction. So I had to put on a hard hat, but they brought us in to show us where our seats would be. And we jumped on them because they're 3 rows, Chris, behind the Caps, where they sit behind the Caps box,
bench,
3 rows up from the glass.
Tough
and they were
word.
telling me there, you're going to be able to hear the coach. I mean, it's that great, center ice.
Wow.
So, yeah. So we got in early, and Ann and I were excited about it. And it's exactly 2 metro stops from my house. So it's a 7-minute ride. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Let's go Pens.
Yeah.
Well, let's take 1 minute because it doesn't deserve more than 1 minute. Brendan, how many WNBA games have you watched this year?
1, 2, none.
None.
0 times 0
Chris,
is
I know
0.
that you got it locked on, right? You're watching a lot of WNBA basketball.
Technically, if you come into my man cave, I have 2 75-inch TVs side by side. If I have YouTube TV with the quad view, there might be a game on. I couldn't tell you 3 teams in that league, but technically, if I were to it was probably on while I was watching the quad view, but paying attention, no. I will watch some of the highlights, lowlights on the X or something like that, but no, I don't watch that.
Yeah, well, see, we've
Frank,
covered
my
this.
only knowledge of the WNBA is what you guys talk about on Game On America. That is it.
Well, you know,
if you didn't cover it, I don't know about it.
It's a mess, John. It's a mess, and it's not about basketball anymore. It's about something else. It's about lifestyle. It's about what's going on in the country politically. It's not about basketball, but these have to be the most uneducated business people that I've ever seen, because they are running this sport into the ground. And I've said on the show, I don't know how many times on Game On America Sports, today they need to fire the WNBA commissioner. Chris, you got time to be the commissioner? I can make a couple, phone calls. You want to be the commissioner?
My Tuesday mornings have opened up, so I got some time.
All right, so then you could do it, then. But John, I mean, you've watched all our shows. You've been on our shows. It's just a mess. It's just
the problem is it's a subsidized league, and when you subsidize something for this long, they don't react to true market forces, and they don't adjust.
Good point. Great point.
Yeah, but you want to know something, though? This is surprising a lot of people. 42% of the teams are owned by NBA owners, but with the expansion that they've got planned, 66% of these teams are going to be owned by the NBA owners. How could they allow for what's going on? And I'm not saying, gay versus this versus that and all this other stuff. What I'm saying is that nobody pays attention to the game because there's so many outside issues that are just literally smothering this woman's basketball. And I think for the young 13-year-old girl that wants to play in the WNBA, is playing on her high school team or grade school team, this is a mess, John.
The only value, truly, that this league brings to American sports is drama and ex-Twitter fights. That's the only value it brings. That's the only clicks it brings. That's the only eyeballs it brings. If it was just the game, no one would watch it.
Yeah. John?
Listen, what Frank was saying, I mean, we're all sports enthusiasts here. I mean, I watch sports all weekend. I watch it at night. So he asked the question, how many WNBA games have you watched? So let's just go around again.
Still zero.
Saxman.
Nope.
Zero.
Still zero.
Hopgood. Dan
Zero.
Hubbard. Statler.
Zero.
I can't watch him. I can't watch him.
Godzilla. 0 times 0 is 0. I mean, I think changing the channel, maybe at a casino they had a game on and I looked at it for 8 seconds. I would sit down and say, oh, the Chicago somebody is playing the Fever today. I mean, I don't even know.
The quality of basketball is terrible.
He asked them to put Wheel of Fortune.
They have to be
on.
able to stand on their own, and they need to be. They don't be necessarily cut off, but they need to be weaned off the subsidization that's going on in the best interest of the league and the players.
Well, then it would collapse.
But no, they wouldn't. They would have to adjust to reality. They are not dealing in a true market reality, and as a result, the product is suffering.
So last night there's a game. And there's whoever that Dijon is, with the silver hair. Dijon. I don't even know what team she's on, but
Dijon Carrington.
The only way I follow
part of
them,
the powerful Black Lesbian Caucus.
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
All right, clean it up, Brendan. Go ahead, John.
There's no way I'm cleaning it up.
I'm with you, Dan. I'm with you, Dan.
Right.
We might as well just
look, JF. The games. I mean, we don't watch these games, but there's the basketball is so bad. Literally, Brendan and I send each other posts on X
all
just
the time.
how bad.
Honestly, if you're gonna try to make the game more watchable, put 6 on 6.
Well,
I mean, I've been doing this 15 years, and that is the first time where somebody made me laugh so hard I couldn't gather myself and get the sentence out.
Wow.
That was good, Hobgood.
Let's talk from a basketball perspective for just a moment. I know a little bit about this. From a basketball perspective, in 1981, 2 or 3, somewhere in there, Roger Staubach calls me up. I was a good college Division II basketball player. I'm in great shape. And he says, bring your stuff. We're playing against Nancy Lieberman today. Okay? I mean, this is a true story. I could not make this up. And so I get out there, and Nancy Lieberman, who was, I guess, a good player at the time, is 5'8", 140 pounds, 135 pounds. I'm 6'1.5", 200 pounds. I mean, it wasn't even fair. Now, having said that, you now go over and you look at the basketball players today. They're better, they're faster, they're stronger, but nobody cares. Nobody cares because there's so many other issues that are embedded in this that you don't even want to watch it.
Yeah.
And so
it's still
that's
not
the problem.
They're more athletic and they're more athletic and they're taller. It's still too slow and poorly played relative to the competition that average sports fans are used to. If you want to have a women's sport that can actually move the needle when it comes to ratings, it's volleyball. That is an explosive, fast sport that you can watch.
Well,
and
women's tennis
you can
is
go to the
pretty
game
good
and enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's
women's tennis is.
It's not been played enough, and it's not a team sport. If you're talking about a team sport that can be played day in and day out, relatively speaking, it's women's volleyball. Nebraska, the University of Nebraska, has sold out every women's volleyball game for the last 10 or 11 years, and the stadium is like 10,000. It's huge because it's a watchable, explosive sport.
Yeah.
What about softball?
Bring back roller derby.
John. Come on, women's softball is pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Women's ultimate.
It's not.
Frisbee.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good for the playoffs.
All right, let me ask you a question, Chris. Can you go two for 4 against one of those pitchers? Because I can set it up. All right, this will be something that we could go live with. I'm going to come up to Washington.
Could I?
When
I was
top
playing
pitchers. Can you go 2 for 4 against her?
Frank, I have no desire to go drive anywhere to get in the box and blow out a hamstring at the age of 60.
It's like Battle of the Sexes 2 here.
No, I couldn't.
Who gives a rat's ass? I mean, it's just not. It's watchable for the playoffs in the NCAA. That's about it.
Yeah,
I
women's
used to coach women's
softball is good.
I used to
women's
coach
college
women's softball.
is watchable and it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
I've
good.
coached it. I've coached women's.
And I've
coached girls basketball. I've coached girls
I love
softball.
the fact they've got
They're great sports if your daughter's playing, but if you have to sit there and watch it in the stands day in and day out and develop a fan base, it's just not there.
John, what's the line he could go 2 for 4 against one of those pitchers?
Probably,
I can't bowl I can't bowl 4 balls down a bowling lane.
100 to 1. 100 to 1. He couldn't hit a foul ball.
That's still not. That would be a watchable sport. I will take that and have better ratings.
We'll take out the hit. Let's just see if he makes contact.
Yeah, but Chris, what I'm trying to do is promote the show here. This could be a big piece of this.
Godzilla
we could probably
wins,
be picked
presents.
up by the major networks.
I like the fact that they have a professional softball league because, the girls that want to play, that they're really good. Now they have, somewhere to go after college. I mean, I like that. I mean, I haven't watched any of it, but I think it's a good idea. Anyway, we were getting to the WNBA, and before Hobgood there made me laugh with his caucus, which is probably real. So there's a guy, I don't know what the game is, it's Dijon, right? So there's a guy with his wife, and he's in the front, those seats at the front of the court seats there. And apparently she said that the guy was saying racial things that she shouldn't be saying. And so, she went to the officials and told them that, and they brought security in, never asked a question. They escorted him out for saying things that were racial. And then they do an investigation, and they find out the guy didn't, they go on the screen, the guy didn't do anything. He didn't say anything that was anywhere clear. And so they bring it back. I mean, it's like, what?
Yeah, it's not good.
Because the value of the sport, it's not a great sport.
Is going to fold. Like, why would I go to a game and I'm spending the money for a courtside seat on the front row, and I get escorted out on TV? She's accusing me of saying things racial. They escort him out. Security comes in, takes him up, gets him out.
Look,
then 20 minutes
it doesn't work.
They bring him back and say, well, he didn't do anything.
It doesn't work. You can't subsidize a bad product and expect the product to get better. Period. It doesn't work in any market ever.
What a mess.
All right.
League is
all right.
Old.
That was fun.
Well, you know what? The WNBA,
unfortunately, you got to cover it. If you're in the sports world, you got to cover it.
No,
it's a big story.
This is the only value. This is the only value the WNBA brings is people get upset about it.
I gotta cover it next week. I already know it. I don't want to cover this anymore. I want to cover
Nobody wants to
sports,
cover.
but I mean, what I'm saying to you is there'll be another big story Monday. Sophie Cunningham something, and Janina Carrington something, and something else.
You want to help grow this network when it comes to women's sports. Start covering women's volleyball because the University of Pittsburgh is fantastic. Carolina is fantastic. Nebraska is fantastic. These are great sports teams to follow and watch. And you can turn on Big Ten Network and watch and go, damn, this is exciting. You go to a game.
Tell you what I'll do, just for you. Here's what I'm going to do.
All right.
I'll get WVU volleyball coach Jen Greeny on our show next week for 15 minutes.
Good.
How about that?
Love it.
I'll do that.
And I have a good promo idea. I'm telling you, Chris, you got to be open-minded about this. Go to the batting cage right after we get done and see if you could hit a softball. This could be huge.
Frank,
I mean, I'm a marketing guy.
I haven't swung a bat in 40 years. I couldn't hit a ball on a tee right now. Okay. I just mean there's absolutely zero interest in doing something like that. I would blow out a hip joint. I would blow out my shoulder. There's just no way in hell I'm doing this. You want to have fun? You get a major league player against one of these guys like they did when what was her name? Jenny Taft was pitching, the gal from University of Arizona. I mean, that's interesting. It's fun. It's still not watchable long term. It's a marker in the game. Who gives a crap?
So here we are on Saturday, August 15th, and the hierarchy of the WNBA has still not defined what a woman is and what a woman's eligibility is to play in this league. This is now 10 days into it. They had a meeting. Here's the thing. They had a meeting. I can't even say this with a straight face. And they couldn't come to consensus on what a woman is. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up, guys. They had a meeting and couldn't come to a consensus.
All right. Brendan, Enos Cantor, Freedom. And Royce White. Now, it looks like Royce White is a little off his rocker. All right, just so we're clear. It looks like Royce White might need some psychiatric help. He just got
That's a woman
in the last election that he
then he qualifies as a woman,
a
Frank.
part of. Huh?
Yeah. If he needs psychiatric help, that qualifies him as a woman.
Yeah. Well, he's running for president now.
The views expressed on Godzilla Wins.
So John's going to have him on.
Give me a disclaimer.
No, this guy's off his rocker. Now, Enos Cantor Freedom was a really good player in the league. So, Brendan, what happens to these two guys?
I mean, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I love the idea of what they're doing, forcing the WNBA to, say what a woman is, whether they're eligible or not, because we've been told for years, just simply believing you're trans and you feel like a girl one day. I mean, that makes you trans. So it's calling them out on their hypocrisy, because they're never going to let these two in the league, because it'll expose their league for what it is. It's just. I think it's a brilliant idea what they're doing, and it's going to force the WNBA to make a decision and show their hypocrisy.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to end with this. I want your one team in the NFL, not a lot of dialogue. I'm not looking for narrative. I'm looking for just straight up and down. I want your two teams, the one that overexceeds and the one that under exceeds your expectation. Start with Chris Saxman.
I think the Rams are going to underexceed. I just there's so much hype there. I don't think they can match it. The overachiever this year, I want to say the Steelers, but I'm too much of a homer to do that. I think the Carolina Panthers.
Hobgood.
Underachieve.
We'll get back to you. Statler.
Take your time.
Statler.
Overachieve. This is going to be a surprise, everyone, but I'm going to go with the New York Giants and John Harbaugh. Underexceed, I think the Detroit Lions.
Frank.
Overexceed, my biggest pick of anything that I've done so far on the show, New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are going to be way better than people think. And the underachiever, are the Green Bay Packers. They ended up, 5-game losing streak last year. I just don't see it. They gave up so much for that linebacker from Dallas. They gave up really good players in the defense. They paid him a bunch of money. And I just don't their quarterback Love, he's inconsistent, and I think they're going to underachieve.
Back to Hobgood.
Hobgood.
Underachieve. New England overachieve. I'll say the Dolphins with what's his name from the new quarterback. So
I got two underachievers, no overachieve. Underachieve. Giants. Why? Harbaugh's getting people hurt in the preseason again, just like he did with the Ravens. They're hurt again. He overworks them. He's already lost two major players. Giants tank. Underachieve. Jets. Two wins. Another dumpster fire in the Meadowlands. That's
You're shorting New York.
Both of them.
Good man.
That's going to be it for Godzilla Wins. Now, you want my picks? Go to GodzillaWins.com. They're going to be up, a couple of minutes after this show. Go to GodzillaWins.com. You can get everything right there. I want to thank our esteemed panel, Frank Zaccanelli, Brendan Statler, Chris Saxman, Dan Hobgood.
And watch my partner, John Stinton. He's on right now. Go turn
Coming
him
on now. And look, Horse, these guys hot. I can't wait to get his picks. I'm taking that train to Roslyn, baby. Last stop, Roslyn, Virginia. Let's go. Thanks for being with us. John Stenton, Pass the Wire, next.